What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email. That's right here. But today, I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on the latest album from N.E.R.D. called No One Ever Really Dies. Now, N.E.R.D. is a trio that's coming out of Virginia. They're a band that's made up of Chad Hugo, Pharrell Williams, and also Shay Haley. And they have put out some great work in the past. In particular, I love their albums In Search Of and Fly or Die. Between these two albums, you got plenty of hits, including Rockstar and Lapdance, which I think everyone is familiar with. And the thing I like about N.E.R.D. is how they blend so many unique sounds. They're bringing hip-hop elements, rock, punk, everything in between, a little bit of glitchy electronica type of stuff. They really do have a unique sound because of how they bring all these different genres. So that said, I felt like with this album, you really have to give it a fair chance in order to like it. Like if you just hear a song or two or skim through it trying to decide how you feel about it, I don't think you're going to take everything in because there's just so much happening with it. There's tons of beat switch-ups, there's even a little bit of political content that's sprinkled throughout these tracks, so it's not really one of those albums that you listen through and say, I get it. Might take you a little while in order for it to truly stick. I actually kind of felt this way about the singles. With Lemon, we get this 808 banger featuring a pretty raw-ass verse from Rihanna. I think she kind of snapped and just sounded good on that. And it's just so fun and energetic. At first, I wasn't sure if I loved this one or not, but the more I heard it and came back to it, it just got me bouncing. It really is a fun track that gets you vibing. I felt the same way about the song 1000. This one is very glitchy. There's just crazy drums all over it, some synth stabs, and lots of madness happening. To me, this track sounded like some shit that would play during a train spotting montage. You know what I'm saying? People just doing some cocaine off of a hooker's tits, maybe taking all kinds of shots, getting that crazy camera angle that's right in their face, just something like that. It's a very wild-ass track, and you do get a Future feature on here as well. At first, I thought that was kind of a weird choice, but I thought he fit it quite nicely. It was a nice change up from what you usually hear Future doing, although he's still just futuring his way with bars about, materialism and all the fancy shit he has. But sonically, I thought his voice and cadence, just that robotic shit, fit the sort of glitchy, futuristic feel of the track. You can definitely disturb the neighborhood with both of these songs that I've just discussed. They are really like audio cocaine, man. They get you bouncing and they keep you up. But some of my favorite tracks on this are the ones that actually throw back to that more old school N.E.R.D. sound. The ones that have those bright guitars, the bouncy production, and Pharrell chanting like he used to do on some of those old songs, hey, 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 hey. And of course, those nice melodies. My Haze sound pretty shitty, not near as good as Pharrell's, but I think you know what I mean if you're familiar with N.E.R.D. And if you're not, definitely check out those two albums that I mentioned already, because they're fire. But the songs I'm talking about that reminded me of that vintage N.E.R.D. are Deep Down Body Thirst, Voila, and Don't Do It. Now, Voila really sticks out because it features Gucci Mane on it, and it's a song all about going away for a while and coming back as a better person. Really, who could fit this track better than Gucci? He went to jail, did all that shit, or prison, whatever, and then he came out as a much better person. He's living his best life, he's married, he's healthy. He really just turned his life around. So I thought that was a great feature. I like the bouncy feel of this song. Although on the end of it, you get this sort of clunky tropical beat and the slow as molasses Wale verse. Really didn't like that part. Still going to put this as one of my favorite songs, but I basically turn it off once Wale comes in. But moving on, I want to go into Deep Down Body Thirst. Here we're getting those quintessential N.E.R.D. guitar strums, some really nice percussion work, and again, Pharrell coming through with his chants and melodies. And this track really goes deep into a lot of different issues. It's sort of providing a bit of social commentary on how Pharrell and everybody else, we're just not going to stand for this division between people. He's singing about overcoming walls, just how people need to come together and just, not be so hateful. So I like their approach on this album because while they are dropping some political shit and social commentary, it's not really awkward and forced and just clunky like, kind of what you heard on Eminem's last album, for one example. It really kind of just felt like they were giving us something to really work with here. In particular, coming back to the song 1000, that shit just felt like a riot or protest anthem. Not just because of how crazy and upbeat the song is, also some of the lyrics about how people are assembling to just, get wild and crazy, lighting fires and shit like that. And of course, this video actually shows some of the protests, rallies, riots, and shit that we've seen over the past year or so. So, you know what? You're getting some upbeat, energetic, bouncy tracks that are coming through with content. Definitely a very cool thing. The track that really stuck to me, though, is Don't Do It featuring Kendrick Lamar. Again, this has that bright and bouncy feel. I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but I just want to describe to you how these songs sound, and that's what it is. And even though you're getting that bright feel, the content really contrasts that, because this track is all about just trying to keep cool and not get popped by the police when they pull you over, because they're basically going to do it anyway. So just try not to let your pride and ego get the best of you. Don't get caught up in this shit with the police. At least that's what I took from this song, and I thought that was really dope. You also get Kendrick on here snapping on his verse, bringing a lot of aggression and high energy, so I always like it when he does that. And he had a really good line on here where he's basically saying, you know what, it's the same chalk, different decade, shit is just the same. I didn't say his exact bars, you know what I mean, I kind of fucked it up or whatever, but I really like the point that he was making, that it is a different time, but we're still going through some of these same things. So this was a really cool track. I like how they took a topic like that and still made it kind of fun and energetic. Just makes it interesting. But overall, I gotta say, you know, the second half of this project did fall off a little bit for me. So very quickly, I'm just gonna run down how I feel about some of the other tracks on here. So with ESP, I thought that had some of the album's clunkiest production, so I didn't like that one too much. Lightning Magic Fire Prayer sounds a bit like this cloudy Kid Cudi track that just drags on for about 8 minutes. And then Rollin' Them Sevens does have a decent feature from Andre, where he's just telling the story about the cops fucking with him in front of his woman. But this song just gets very, very repetitive with the Rollin' Them Sevens, Rollin' Them Sevens, Rollin' Them Sevens. There's a lot of that shit. Even when you pop it up on Rap Genius, you're just gonna see that shit all over that lyric page. But shout out for that Bub Rub feature we got on there, the little sample, because if you're not familiar with that, you gotta learn, man. The whistles go woo! It's like an alarm clock, man. You're supposed to be up already, cooking breakfast and shit. That's a classic. And Lil Sis, man, she was featured in that little video too, so I gotta show her love. Other than that, we also get Lifting You with Ed Sheeran. I thought this was just kind of a forced and awkward reggae vibe. And I know you guys were fucking with me because of how I said Ed Sheeran in the last video. I still don't know if I'm saying it right. Ed Sheeran, I think. I don't know. I don't listen to him. I don't really pay attention to him, so I don't know, god damn it. Didn't like that track too much. Although the idea of the song was kind of cool. Just the fact that when people are talking about you, putting you down and shit, they're still lifting you up and putting you out there. Other than that, the only song I think I haven't touched on is Secret Life of Tigers, and this has some cool little political content as well. This is just a track where he's basically representing for these kids who have very conservative parents, and the kids don't give a fuck, man. They're just wilding out, they still want to fight the power, they're partying, they're not being racist, homophobic, etc., etc. So there is a cool feel to that track as well. And at the end of the day, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I really did think about a 4, that's what I thought about at first, but the more I listened to it, I just didn't find myself coming back to that second half very much. I really didn't care for a lot of songs there. I do have to mention Kites though, that's on the second half, so that was one of the better tracks there. And this is another collaboration with Kendrick Lamar. I really like that back and forth between him and Pharrell, and MIA is featured on this song too. This is just another track that's really about unity and coming together, so I fucks with the vibe. But again, the first half of this album is so much stronger than the second half in my opinion, and that's what really made me go with a 3.5 instead of a 4. Still a dope project though, 3.5 ain't bad, but you guys let me know in the comments section what you think. And of course, check out all my social media sites, you know where I'm at, so show me love and show me lots of it. Thank you for watching everybody. I will see you next time.